Hi everyone, welcome to Learn Digital Skills. My name is Jeff. So today we are going to be talking about the introduction to Microsoft Word. So this course is actually designed to provide you with thorough understanding of Microsoft Word. Whether you're a beginner or you're looking for a way to enhance your skills, this course will cover everything from basic document formatting down to the advanced features. So we are just going to get started. I'm using Microsoft Word 2016. So in case yours is not here, you can just search for it by clicking on the search icon and it will open. Alright, so this is our Microsoft Word. Now what we see here is actually templates. Microsoft Word has made it easy for us to design with templates. That is why we have most of this here. We have templates from letters to reports to resumes, blog posts, and many more. So if we are looking for other templates that maybe we didn't find here, we can actually search for online templates. But before we search for online templates, we need to be connected to the internet before we can search. Alright, on this other hand, you find the pinned and some recent documents here. Now, talking about this pinned document is if we have a document that we use on regular basis, we can actually pin them here instead of coming to look for it here. So we can just pin it at the top. So let's say I want to pin this part of the body here. So all I have to do is to just click on this pin icon, click on it, and it is pinned. Now this is it here. Now it's going to remain here until I unpin it. When I unpin it, it leaves where it was. Alright, so we are not going to be making use of the templates. We are going to be starting from scratch because it's actually an introduction to Microsoft Word. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm going to click on blank document. Alright, so this is our Microsoft Word. What we see here is our document. Okay, now there are basic things we need to know in Microsoft Word. What are those basic things? Some of them, okay, we need to know that this up here are our tab. Now we have the home tab, the insert tab, the design tab, the layout, references, and the rest of that. Now if you look there, you also see something like tell me what you want to do. Now this is if we want to work on something, or we want to do something, or maybe there is a tool we are to use and we don't know where to find it, we can just come here to search for it. Now let's say this ruler, I'm going to take it out and bring it back here. Okay, I'm going to click here, I'll search ruler. Now this is it, show ruler. When I click on this, it removes it. So when I go back there and search ruler, show ruler, I click on it and the ruler is back. So with this, you can search for any tool you want to use. Alright, so we said this is the tab, just as we have the home tab, the insert tab, the design, and the rest of that. Now in each tab we click, this here actually changes. Now what is this? This is what we call the ribbon. This is the ribbon. Each tab has its own ribbon. Just as when I click on the home, the ribbon here changes. So each tab has its own ribbon. Now at the top here, where you have this save icon, also this is the undo icon, and this is the repeat. Now this part is what we call the quick access. Now this quick access, why do we have it? We have this quick access so in case if there is a particular tool we use all the time, like we use it, we can just pin it to quick access. Now let's take, for instance, I want to pin All right, let me see. Okay, I want to pin this at the top now. I just come here, add to quick access toolbar, and I click on it, and this is it here. So you see, you can add any tool right here. Even when I go to the insert, you can add any tool there, and it will be more easy for you to use. Now let's say I do not want the tool there, I want to remove it. You can do the same thing by right clicking on it, and you see remove from quick access toolbar. You click, remove it. Likewise the same with this, remove it. So that is that about the quick access. Now coming back to the ribbon, we are on the home tab, which is showing the home tab ribbon. On each tab we have what we call group. Now what is group? The group is where we have a selected kind of tools that can be used. Now we have the clipboard group, we also have the fonts group, we have the paragraph group, the styles, and the editing group. Now all of these are called groups in the ribbon under the home tab. Now if you watch, in each group we have a small extension here. Now why is this extension there? It is there because these are not all the tools we have in the clipboard, just as these are not all the tools we have in the font group. So if we should click on this, it brings out so many other options under the fonts group. So why do they have this? They have this there because not all of these tools can actually contain here. That is why they just brought out this, and this extension is actually there. So that is for most of the groups, they have the extension. But when you come to the editing group does not actually have that extension. Why? Because these are all the tools you can find under the editing group. Now in order of the groups you find the extension. Now let's go to the inserts. Okay, we can't find it here because these are just the tools they have in the illustration, the tables, pages, and the rest of that. Okay, let's come to the design. Okay, we don't have it here too. Now I'll move to the review. We don't also have it here. So wherever you see this extension, that is to say that there are more tools for that particular group. So that is that. Now like I said earlier, this is our page, and also this is our ruler. Now this ruler, I actually use it most of the times. Maybe when I'm trying to get maybe the size of my paper or of my document, I can use the ruler. Alright, so we talked about the tab, the quick access, the ribbon, and the groups. We also talked about the search icon that is right here. So now when you come down here, you see page 1 of 1. That is to say that we just have one page here and 0 words on our document. Now let's say we are having so many words. Now let me add something there. Okay, now I just added YouTube. Now if you come down here, you see one word. This is it. So now talking about the pages, now let's add a page here. We'll go to insert and we'll click on blank page. When you click there, this is it. We've added another page to our document. So now it is having 1 of 2. Why this 1 of 2 is because we are on the first blank page. Then if we scroll down to the second one, it will be 2 of 2. That is for that. Now on this other hand, these are what we call the layouts. Now these layouts, I use the print layouts most of the time because it's actually more easier and it's most common to use. Now if we should click on the read mode, when we click on this, it actually makes our document 2. Now I'm going to add something. Yeah, I just went back, I clicked on the escape key and it took me back. Alright, so let me add some text. Okay, just going to add a dummy text. Alright, so I just added this text, and let me do the same thing. Let me copy and add on the second page. Alright, so now we are going to open our read mode so you will see how it actually looks like. Click on this, and this is it. This is our read mode. So you can actually go back this way. This is the first page, and this is the second page. So I'm just going to go back by clicking on escape key. Let's come back. That is it. So now, talking about this is our zoom. If you move it this way, you are zooming out. If you move it this way, you are zooming in. So I'm just going to leave it at 100%, and this is more better to view. Alright, so let's see how we can actually save our documents. To save is either you click on this icon up here, or you click Ctrl S, or you come to your file, you see save. Now if you watch, you're going to see save, and you also find the save as. Now there are difference between the save and the save as. Let's say you're trying to save your document for the first time. You can either use the save as, or you use the save, which anyone you want. You can use any of it. You still open the same place. So let's say we saved our document, we've saved it, and we want to save it again. That is where the difference comes in. Now if we want to save it again, we can just simply click on save to save it automatically, or we just come to the save as. Now when we click on the save as, it's not going to save it automatically. Instead, it's going to reopen for us to maybe change the name or the location of the document we are saving. So that is the difference between the save and the save as. The save allows you to automatically save the document if you saved it already. That is for the second time, you can just save it automatically. Then the save as is going to actually pop up if you want to change the name or the location. Now let's try it. Now I'm going to click on the save as. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Alright, so I'm just going to save this now as learning. Alright, so I saved it as learning. I'm just going to go to the file location, the desktop, and I'm going to save this. Now I have saved it, so I'm going to go back there. Now the difference now between the save and the save as we've just seen is the save, you can save your document automatically, while the save as maybe if you want to rename or change the file location. Then we also have the print. If we want to print our document, we definitely need to be connected to the printer before we can print. We have the share, we also have the export. Now talking about the export, if we want to export our document as PDF, we can actually export it. Now some individual or some companies might actually be asking for a PDF file of a document, so this is how we can actually export it as PDF. So you just click on PDF, and you can put the name, and if you watch save as type PDF, then you can select the location right here. When you're done, you click publish. So we are not just going to export it now. Okay, now if we want to close this Word document that we add on, we can just click on close, and it will close it. Then if we want to open a new one, you click on file, you go to new. Then if you want to use a template or a blank document, now if you want to use a template, for instance, you can actually just click on it, then it's going to pop up. Alright, so now this is it, this is the template. We can now edit this template if we want to use it. Alright, so we've now seen the basics, right from what the tab is down to the ribbon, and also how we can save, we can also zoom, and the rest of that. We are going to be talking about the basic text formatting, and talking about that, it's comprises of mostly the font group. So we're basically going to be talking about more of the font group today. Okay, so let's get started. Now we are going to start by giving our text font. We're going to change this font. So remember, I told you guys, before you work on anything, you need to first highlight it. So I just highlighted mine. So it's either I come here, or when I hover on this, okay, let me do it again. I highlight and I hope, yes, this is it. So I just click here and I can select any font. So I'm just going to search for Times New Roman. Good, this is it, and I click. Now this is it. So we can actually select a font by just highlighting your text and giving it a font. So let's say now we want to also make this YouTube, want to make it bold. How can we make it bold? Is either we do Ctrl B, you click on Ctrl plus B, or you come here, this B icon here, you click on it. Now it becomes bold. Good. Alright, so let's make this bigger. There are two ways you can actually make this bigger. It's either you come here, the font size, you increase it to 26, or you come here, this, the bigger A here is to increase it, then the smaller one is to reduce it. If you watch, I can increase, I can reduce it, while also here I can select the size I want. Now that is how we can actually increase and reduce our text size. Okay, we're going to be having something under okay, so I'm just going to reduce this a little and I'm going to make it italic. Is either I use Ctrl I, or I come here to click on this. I've made it italic, and also I can do well to underline it by clicking on this U. Now I just underlined it. Now if you look at the underline, it's having a color. So let's say we want to change the color. You can just come here, click on this, then you see underline color. You can set it as black, as white, or any other color. So let me set it as red. Good. Alright, we can also change the style of the underline. You can use any of this, so you can actually play around with it. So I think I'm going to go for this one. Alright, so we just made it italic, we also underlined it. Now let's say we want to strike through. When you want to strike through, okay, let me have another one down here. Now let's say we want to strike through. We just have to highlight first, then come here and click. Now we'll strike it through. Like I said, you want to increase it, come here, you can increase, and also to decrease here. Alright, so I'm going to highlight this. Now I want to use a text effect on this, and this is where you find the text effect and typography. So I click on it. Now I'm going to see different text effects here. So I'm going to use this. Let me use this one. Now using this does not actually mean this is how it will be like. You can actually change the color if you want to. So to change the color, you come here, font color, you click on it, and you can change the color to whichever one you want. So I'm going to change it to this. Now if you watch, it's having a blue outline. How can we change this blue outline? Okay, we're going to go back to our text effect, then you're going to see outline. I'm going to select an outline. Let's use this, and this is it. So this is how we can actually change the colors of our text effect. Now going back to the text effect, you will also see shadow. You can add shadow to that text, also reflection, glow, number styles, and all of that. So let me just add a reflection. I want a reflection no, no, sorry, I didn't highlight it first. You see, you always need to highlight before working on anything. So reflection, I'm going to put this, and now this is it. This is the reflection. So using text effects in your document actually makes it nice. Alright, so let's say we are done. We want to now clear formats. How do we do that? We highlight it. Now, clearing of formats actually means you are going to take back this learn digital skills back to the way it was at first. That means you are removing both the text effects and you're also removing the reflection. So now we highlight it. This is where we see the clear format, and we click on this and it has come back to how it was at first. Alright, so that is how the formatting works. Alright, so I'm just going to Ctrl Z to go back. Okay, so now this our text effects, we want to give it a highlight color. This is it. Come here, select a color. Okay, let me use this. Now this is it. So this is how we actually select a highlight color for our text. So if you want to clear off formatting like we said earlier, you can just come here and click, you can clear. How about we want to give this YouTube an uppercase? It should be in uppercase instead of sentence case as it is. You can just come here, you click, and you change the case. Let's change it to uppercase. Now this is it. We just changed it to uppercase. We are going to be talking about the paragraph formatting in Microsoft Word. We are going to be starting with the bullet points. So now let's say we are having some lists of stuff. Okay, let's see, I'll be having something like Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Alright, let's say for instance we're having list of this and we actually want to give this some bullet points, that is either numbering or using an icon. Alright, so what we just have to do, remember I told you, if you have been following our classes, that you highlight first, then you go to where the bullet point is. I'm just going to go there, and then I can select whichever one I want. So I'm just going to use this, and now this is it. This is how it now looks like. So using bullet points like this is also important and necessary. Now let's say I want to add some other things in order. Okay, if I just hit this enter button, the bullet point actually comes out on its own. So I'm just going to add this there. So this is how it actually works. Alright, so talking about the numbering, now the number works like this. I'm going to highlight it the same way we did for that of the bullet points. I'm going to highlight it and click on the numbering, and it's like this. So when I click here, I'm going to find numbers, alphabet, and the Roman numerals. So I can just select any one of my choice. So I'm just going to go for the numbering. Okay, I'm going to go for this one. Now this is it. This is how it actually works. Now let's have some text here. We want to talk about that of the alignment. Alright, let's see, we're having this. I just want to bring out some text. Alright, let's say we're having this text now. Now looking at this text, it is actually left aligned. Now how do we know it? Looking at it, we know our right and our left hand. So it is aligned properly at the left, but it is not at that of the right. So this is where the alignment actually comes in. So now let's start with the center align. Now when you click on this center align or Ctrl E after highlighting, it's going to actually arrange this text at the center. Now I click on this, and this is it. This is center align. Now if you watch, both the right and the left hand side are equal, so that is why it is called the center align. So let's see about the right. So I'm going to click on the right, and if you watch, the right is aligned while the left is not. So we can actually justify it, that is making it completely full, by clicking on the justify. So I'm just going to hit the justify and it is complete. Now if you watch from one end to the other, it is complete. Okay, now let's continue. So alright, let's talk about the indents. This is what we call the indent. This is the decrease indent and this is the increase indent. So how does that actually works? Now let's say we want to have a paragraph here. I'm just going to highlight this and I keep clicking on this. This is the indent. Alright, so I can also do the same for this, or even if I should just put my cursor there, it's actually going to work on it. Okay, so it's going to be like this. This is the indent and the decrease is going to actually take it back in. If you watch, this is it. So this is the highest it can actually go. So this is for that of the indent, the increase indent and the decrease indent. Okay, let's talk about the sorts. This is what we call the sorting. Now we are going to be using the sorting here. Now if you look at this sorting, you see A and you also see Z underneath. That is, you can actually arrange your text alphabetically. Now when I click on this sorting, you see it, paragraph, the type, text. How do I want it, ascending or descending? Okay, let's start with the ascending. I'm going to click on this, okay, and if you watch, it is ascending. Now from F you get I, L, S down to Y. So we can also click on the ascending. Don't click on this, sorry, the descending. You click on the descending and you hit OK, and this is for that of the descending. Alright, so that is for that. Now talking about the borders. The borders, how do we use, or when do we use the borders? So this is when we use it. I say I will highlight this, come to the border, click, you see so many borders. So I'm just going to use all borders. I click on this. Now this is having a border. So that is how the border works. So I'm going to try it back on this. I highlight it, come to the border, click, and I get a border for this one. So that is for the borders. So now let's talk about the shading. This is for the shading. To actually give this a color, I'm going to give it this orange. Now this is for the shading. Now at times I use this shading when I'm trying to actually highlight a text that I want to pass to others, that is to pinpoint a particular text that I want them to quickly get notice of. For instance, now I want them to notice this. Maybe this line is actually talking about the main point I'm trying to send to them. I just have to come here. Okay, let's say I make it red, and this is it. So this is what we call the shading. Alright, talking about the line and the paragraph spacing, which is this, it's actually to give you the spacing between each lines, the spacing between each lines. So if I should click on this, alright, let me Ctrl Z to go back. Let me remove all of this. Alright, so if I want the indent on this paragraph spacing rather, I'm just going to highlight this, come here, and let's say I want it at 1.5. I click it, and this is for the paragraph spacing. If I want to reduce it, I can also do the same thing by highlighting, come here, and reduce it. We are going to be talking about the page layout or the page setup. So where can we actually find the page layout or the page setup? We're just going to go right straight to our layout. Now this is where we'll find the page setup. So this is what we're talking about today. Now when we are talking about the page setup or the page layout, it actually means your document, setting it up before working. So we're going to see how we can actually set our page up before we start working. Alright, so we're just going to start with the margins. Now talking about the margins is from the edge of your document down to where your text starts. That is your margin. So if I should just click on this margin, you see different margins. Then we have the normal, the moderate, the narrow, the wide, mirrored, office, and the rest of that. So this normal is the normal margin that is being used. So at times some might think of using this. So when we click on this, for instance, now this is where we can start typing from. So let's say I'm having some text. Alright, let's say I'm having this text. Now this is the edge of our document to where the text starts. This is the narrow margin. So if I should click on it and put it back to normal, it reduces it. So if I should go to moderate, this is how it looks like. So this is the normal one we actually use it. But if hereby you want to make, maybe your text is more bigger and it's occupying more space, so you just want to make the margin smaller, you can just use the narrow, but this is always the normal one, so we're just going to stick with the normal one. Alright, so the next up we have the orientation. Now the orientation is the page setup if it's landscape or portrait. So if I should click on this, we are going to see it portrait or landscape. So let's try turning this to the landscape, the page. So I'm just going to click on this and it is landscape. Now let me zoom out a little so you can see it. Now this is it. This is for the landscape. So now when I click on the portrait, this is for the portrait. So that is for the orientation. Now talking about the size. The size, we have different sizes here. We have from the letter to the legal, A3, A4, A5 and the rest of that. So now all of these are different sizes, just as the legal is bigger than the A4 and the A5 is half of the A4 and the A3 is twice of the A4. So all of these are different sizes. So this, our page setup now, is actually A4. Good. Click on this. Sorry, size A4. So whereby we want to, where we are going to be printing it using the legal size, we're just going to go here and click on the legal. So the legal is more bigger than that of the A4. Alright, so that's all for the sizes. So you can get all of those sizes here. Maybe if you need more paper sizes, just click here and you can add the size, the height and the width of whatsoever you want to design. So when you're done, just click OK. So we are not going to change the size, just cancel that. Alright, so now coming over to the columns. Now the columns, in fact, it is self-explanatory. Is when you just click on this, you have the 1 column, the 2, the 3, the left and the right columns. So if I should use the 2 columns, it's like this. So let me copy this and add more text to this. Okay, just going to copy and paste it here. Alright, so now this is it. This is the for the 2 columns. Now if you watch, it's here and this other side. So if I should go back to the column and click on 3, it becomes 3 columns. So it depends on what you're actually designing. So maybe even look at the newspaper. The newspaper is having 3 columns like this. So this is how you can actually set up, maybe if you want to be typing on both sides in a page. So we're just going to go back to the 1 column. Alright, so now talking about the breaks. Now these breaks actually works with text. It works with text. So now how can we actually break our text? Now I'm just going to put my cursor here, and when I go to the break, find more options, then I click on page. Now I want this from here, from where I kept my cursor, it actually broke to the next page. So that is for the page break. So if I should click here now, go to the break. Now I want it to be on next page. I just click on the next page and it comes right straight to another page. So that is more for the page breaks. Right. Okay, so now talking about the line numbers. The line numbers, it actually gives the numbers of each line of your text here. So I'll just click on the line numbers, continuous. So now this is for the line number. So if I should keep typing and typing, going down and down, it will keep adding, the numbers keep adding and increasing, all of that. So that is for the line numbers. Then the hyphenation. Now the hyphenation, it works this way. Now I'm just going to remove the line numbers. Alright, now the hyphenation, let me zoom in a little. Alright, so I'm just going to click on the hyphenation, and okay, it's already at automatic. So when it's none, if there should be a text or a word that is maybe longer, maybe it starts from here, from where my cursor is right now, from here, maybe it starts from here and it's longer. Now instead of the whole word coming down here, there's going to be a hyphen there. So I'm just going to go back to automatic now, and let's look for something like that. Alright, so let me just check for one, or let me add some text here. Alright, now looking at this example, you see it's actually having a hyphen there. Now this is it, this is the hyphen, and this is where it continues. So if I should click here to remove the hyphen, the example actually comes down here. So that is to say, if we want a hyphen in our page or in our document, we can just simply come here and click on automatic, and it actually comes out there. So that is all we'll be taking for the page setup. We will be talking about the tables and advanced formatting in Microsoft Word. Alright, so these are all the steps we're going to be taking today, from creating the table down to the font alignment. So we're going to start with creating a table. How can we create a table? We're just going to go to the insert. See the table right here, you click on it, then this pops out. Now looking at this, when we select, okay, let's say we want a table that is 4 by 3. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is 1, 2, 3. Now this is it right here, 4 by 3. So now for it to be there, I just need to click and it is now here. So that is how we can actually create a table. So we also have different table styles. Coming here, you see the different table styles. Now this is showing because we are on our design and we are on the table. If I should come here, it's not there, but if I should come back here, it comes out. So we can select any table style of our choice. We have so many table styles here, so you can select any one of your choice. So we're just going to leave it at the one. We're just going to leave it here. Alright, now moving inside the table. How do we move inside the table? That is this cursor here. How can we move it from this cell to this one, to this, and to the rest of that? How do you do that? By just clicking on your tab, the tab key on your keyboard. Just click on the tab, it moves. Click again to move. Now if you want to go back, you just hold your shift and click on the tab, it goes back. Now I want to go forward, just click on the tab, keeps going forward. So that is how we can actually move inside a table. Now how about deleting the rows and columns? Now let's start by deleting our column. I'm just going to click here. Now I've selected all the columns here. Now if I want to delete it, I just right click and I'll see delete columns, deleted. Now how about deleting the rows? The same thing, just come here, select this. Okay, I'm going to highlight it. How I highlighted it, I left clicked and drag, then I right click, delete cells. Now this will pop up, which they are trying to get which you want to delete. So I want to delete the row. Deleting the entire row does not mean deleting everything, but the one I actually selected, then I hit OK and it has deleted it. So that is how we can delete the rows and columns. Now how can we insert our rows and columns? We've seen how we can delete them, so how can we insert it? It's so easy. Come here, you see the plus icon here, just click on it, we've added. Now how about this side? I come here, I see the plus icon, I click on it, it add. If I click on it again, keep adding, and that is how we can insert our rows and columns. Alright, now how can we increase and decrease cell heights or width? There are different ways of doing this. Now when I come to the line here, this pops out. The cursor actually changed to this, and looking at this, looking at the arrow there, it's showing that you can either take it up or down. So I'm just going to left click and drag down or up. So I can just take it here and I'll leave it here. Same as this, click, can drag it this way or this way. So that is how we can actually increase. So Another way is while I'm typing in here, if I go down, type, go down, keep increasing, go down, type, so I can actually increase it this way too. So those are some of the ways we can increase and decrease cell height and width. Now, which other way? Clicking here, go to the layouts. Now you see the height, you see the width. So now the height, let me increase it. Now this is it. How about the width? Increasing it like this. So these are the three ways you can actually increase or decrease your cell height or width. Now we want to talk about splitting cells. What does it mean to split cells? It actually means maybe creating more tables in a cell. Now let's split this. I click here, I come to split cells, and this pops out. Now how many columns and how many rows do I want in this cell? Let's say I want 5 and 3, 5 columns and 3 rows. I just click OK, and this is it. So I created a cell or a table in a cell. So that is how the split cells actually works. Now moving over to the merge cells. Merge cells is joining 2 or more cells together. So I'm going to merge this. I click here, I highlight to here, then I come to merge cells and I click on merge cells. Now this is it. So no matter what I'm typing, if I keep typing, it just continues because the cells are joined together. So that is what it means by merging cells together. Alright, so now how about borders and shading? Talking about borders and shading. Alright, let's say I want a shading here. I'll click here, go to my design, go to shading, and I can select any shade color. I click, and this is it. So if I want it here, come to the shading, I click, it's there. Come here, can click, can give it any color of your choice. It's all depends on you which color you want. Now this is what it means for the shading, borders and shading. Now talking about the borders, we've talked about this if you've been following our class. Now this is the borders. Now I'm going to click on this, I'm going to click on all borders. Now this is it. So if I want for everything, I just click here, selected everything, go to all borders and click, and now it's having all borders. Now this border, if you look at it very well, it's having double lines and it's orange. We can actually change it to a single line and also change the color by coming here to the border styles, click here, I can select this one and it. Now this is actually going to take time because I'm going to be clicking and clicking. So this is how this actually works, like that, and all of that. So if I want the pen color, just come here, click, and I can change it to this. So apply here, apply here. So this is how the border styles and the pen colors works. It talks about more of the borders. Alright, finally we'll be talking about the font alignment. Now the font alignment is either aligning your text or your fonts at the center, the bottom, the top, the right corner, the left corner, the left bottom or the right bottom, the left or the right. Now how can we do that? Now let's say we are having a text here. Now let's say we are having this here. I'll just go to my layout. That is after I'm still selecting the YouTube. I'll go to the layout. Now I want it center aligned. I'll come to this one, align center, click, it's aligned at the center. Now if I want it left center align, I just click on this there. Now if I also want it at the bottom right align, I click here. So I'm just going to leave it here, and this is how you can actually align your fonts in your table. We are going to be talking about the template, the style, and themes in Microsoft Word. Alright, without waste of time, let's proceed. Now, talking about the templates, we can get templates from Microsoft Word. At least it actually saves time and stress. So when you come here, you see so many templates. We have from the letters to resumes to blog posts and so many, even that of reports. We can find all of them here. And in a case whereby we need a template that we can't find here, you can just do well to come here and search for online templates, and we will find. Now that is so that is how we can actually get templates. Maybe if we're trying to get our work done quick, or if we do not want to design much, so we can actually use any template of our choice. So let's say now we want to use this. How do we use it? Just click on it, then something pops up. Okay, it didn't actually pop up. Okay, when you click on it, it opens. Now with this, you can actually remove whatever you don't want here and insert yours. So like pick the dates, just click here, select today, and today's date is actually there. So you can use the resume to get your work done faster. Alright, so let's also talk about the style. Now the style, we'll find the style in our home tab. The style is right here in this ribbon, styles, the group called styles. That's where you find the styles. Now when and where can we use the styles? If you watch, if I should highlight this, then select any of these styles, it actually changes. Now the style is like collection of other tools that can be used maybe in editing a particular text or formatting a text. That is whereby you are applying both the bold, the italic, the underline, the size, the font, the color, and the rest of that. That is when you're applying it on a particular style. Now if you watch this style, heading 1, if I should click on this now changes to heading 1. The style for this heading 1, this is it here. So we can actually create our own style. How can we do so? Come here, you see this, create a style. Now I click on this to create a style. What is the style name? Let's say I'll leave it at format. Alright, after doing that, I just come to modify to add some styles to it, like making it bold, italic, and the rest of that. Just click here. Now this is the name of it. So I want the style to be based on heading 1. So I can come here to select a color. I can make it bold, I can underline, italic, and also to increase the size or even change the font. Okay, let me remove this. Now this is a style I'm creating, so when I'm done I just hit OK, and now this is the style here. So if I want to apply it, just highlight it, click this. Now these are other styles Microsoft Word has actually created for us. Just click anyone, it applies on it. So that is all for the styles. Now moving over to the themes. The themes is also amazing. Alright, so let's say we are going to be applying the themes here. Now just going to go to design, go to themes, and now if I want to apply any of this theme on it, I just go select and click, it applies on it. I can also change the color by using any of these colors for the theme. Alright, let me highlight it again. Alright, it's actually applying on it though. Okay, let me take it to a place where you actually see the way it's applying. Okay, let me use it here. Now themes, you see it. Now all of these themes, they're having their fonts, they're having different ways in which they have been created. So this is the way the theme actually looks like. Some of them are having fonts, their own colors. Okay, so all of these are different themes we can use. So we can also browse for themes, and we can also save current theme. Alright, so that's more we need to know concerning the themes. It's not really a special tool, but it's also important we know. Alright, I'm just going to select this, and this is for the theme. We are going to be talking about the advanced formatting in Microsoft Word. Alright, so let's get started. So what do we need to know first in the advanced formatting? What we need to know is about this little icon here, which is the show or hide paragraph. Now, how does that work? So I'm just going to click on it. Now, if you watch, it shows almost at the end of each lines. It shows at the end of each lines of a sentence. So now this does not mean that this paragraph icon is actually there. It's not there. If we're trying to print it now, it's not going to come out, but it's just there to show that there is a paragraph after where it stops. There's a paragraph there. So just like this stops here, and then there's a paragraph here. Also there's a paragraph here, and that of this there was a paragraph here which starts from here now. So that is what this little icon does. So now let's say, for instance, we want to add some text. Maybe we want to push down this from the video, want to push it down to the next page. So if we just keep clicking, you see that the paragraph, there are more paragraphs. We just click and click and click. Okay, let's try this. Okay, now we click until it goes straight to the next page. So now looking at this actually shows that there are paragraphs here, and having paragraph in our document does not really make it look good, but because there are easier way and better way of doing this. Now looking at this, if I say I should add some other thing under here, okay, let's say I'm just trying to type anything there. So if we should actually type this here, you see that this is a paragraph and there's so many other paragraphs there, and if you watch, it is actually pushing or taking this down. So if I should come here now and add more, you see it's taking it down. So we cannot actually continue like this because there are other easier way of doing this. So I'm just going to Ctrl Z all of this. Alright, so now the paragraph, having the paragraph being turned on does not mean maybe you're trying to just turn it on or to just see how many paragraphs you're having, but it actually helps you so that you see if your work, if you're actually doing it as a professional, or if you're actually good at what you are doing. So I'm just going to show you an easier way of doing this. Now we want to actually take this to the next page. What do we need to do? We're just going to go to the layout. Now this is the breaks, so we're just going to come here and click on next page. Now if you watch, there are no paragraphs here. Now this is where it starts from. So you see that with the page break, we can actually take our writings maybe from where we do not want it to be, maybe to the next page or something. Now if you watch, this is now a section break, which is at the next page. So that means this is a section break. Alright, so now looking at this section break, this is not just there that when you print it, it will come out. No, immediately I turn this off, it goes out. So now this is our actual document. This is how it looks like. This is just like behind the scene. Okay, so alright, now what's so good about this section break? Now going to the break, you see we have the page break and we also have that of the section page, which is the next page. Now with this section page, we can actually work on a particular page that we are on. Now this is where the section break is. Now let's say we want to apply the margins. Okay, let's use this. Alright, now this is it here, but if you should come here, it didn't actually apply here, but it did apply here. Okay, let me try it again. Let me show you. Alright, so now this is it. Now the section break, it actually allows you to work on that particular section, which is different from other sections. So now if you watch this, I actually changed the margin. This is the normal margin, while this is the narrow margin. But if I should come to another page, okay, let me just come here and apply page break. Alright, so if I should come here now and click on this, change this. Now if you watch, this is the normal page, while this is the section, and this is also the normal page. So this, looking at this section page, we can actually change the margin, either maybe the margin or the orientation or whatsoever, but it does not affect the actual page. So that is one difference between the page and the next page, which is the page and the section page. That is one difference. Now we also have that of the columns. We discussed about this in our previous class. Also then line numbers, this is definitely self-explanatory. Clicking on this, okay, this actually just numbers the lines we have in our document. Then we have that of the orientation, either landscape or portrait, if we want it longer or the width wider, whichever. Then we have that of the margins and all of that. So we are going to be talking about the collaboration and reviews in Microsoft Word. So without waste of time, let's get started. Alright, so before you can actually collaborate with maybe your friends or maybe someone whom you are asking for help in a particular design, you need to sign into Microsoft Word. And how can you do that? You can actually create a Hotmail account and use it to sign into Microsoft Word. So now this is my document and I want to share it with a friend, seeking for him to review it before I can actually publish it. So what do I need to do? I'll just come to the share here. If you have not signed into Microsoft Word, you'll be seeing a sign in right in here, but I have signed in, so that is why it's not there. So I'm just going to click on share. Good. So now this, I have to save this document to the cloud, because I can only share or collaborate my documents when it has been saved to the cloud, which is the OneDrive. So I'm just going to click on save to cloud. Good. I'm going to click on this. Right, it's loading. I'm just going to give it a little time, then it's going to pop up our file where we can save it. Alright, so now this is where we can save it, collaboration, OneDrive. So now this, I didn't actually give this file a name, but Microsoft Word picked it from my title, which I used as collaboration there. So in case you have a title and you do not want that file name to be as your title, you can actually change it, but I'm just going to leave mine as this. So I'm just going to click on save. Alright, so saving it to my cloud. Then from my cloud I can actually share it, so it's going to change here. Good. So now this is it. So when we want to share to someone, all we just have to do is person's email here. So I'm going to put in this. Alright, so this email, now this is the person's email I'm sending it to. So I can click here if I want the person to edit it or to just view it. So I'm just going to click on edit. Then I can include a message here. Maybe I can include this. So we can actually send this to their email by clicking on the share button here, and it goes straight to their email. But whereby we want the link so we can share it to as many as we want, you can just click on the get a share link, then you can copy this link right here. So now we are going to try it on our web browser and see if it actually works. So I'm going to minimize this and I'll go straight to my web browser. On my web browser I'm going to put it here, put that link here. Now you see it seems going to open. So Alright, so it's loading now. Okay, so now it has opened. So now this is it. So the link actually did work, so we can share the link to as many people as we want if we want to collaborate with others. Okay, talking about the mail merge in Microsoft Word, so let's get started. Alright, so talking about the mail merge, it actually means sending a document via mail to so many people if you just have them listed in your database. So now you need to get your database first before doing or proceeding with this. So how do you get our database? I did mine in Excel. So I'm just going to open my Excel. Now this is my database. It's having my first name, the last name, email, contact address, and all of that. So these are all the emails. Look at them here. And these are the details of each of the person I will be sending this to. So I'm just going to save it in Excel. So I have done that already. So now, okay, let me close this. Okay, so you go to mailings, go to mailings, then you click on start mail merge. I click there and I click step by step mail merge wizard. So you can also start with the letter, also email messages and all of that. So I'm just going to use this. Right, then it pops up. So now when this pops up, I'm going to use an existing list. That is which one I actually created, my database I created in my Excel. So that is one I will be using. So I'll leave that. Then I'm going to select a different list. Good. When I click there now, so I'm just going to go to select that database I saved. I saved it on my desktop. Alright, so this is it. And I click open. So now this is it. Let's say we're having so many sheets in our Excel, so we're just going to select the particular sheet where we have those details. So I have just one sheet and I'm just going to click OK. Now these are all the details. We have the last name here, look at it written here. We have the first name, the city, and all of that. So you can actually select who and who you can send this to, or if you don't want to send it to you just want to send it to just one person, you can select it. So let's say I want to send it to just one person, just uncheck this, maybe to just this and this maybe, then I can proceed by clicking OK. But whereby I'm sending it to everybody, I'll just click on this because it definitely would be sending it to everybody in the database. So I click OK. Now good, so it's now time for me to insert the address and the name there in my document. So I'm just going to come to insert merge field. I'll click on first name, so it should be here. Click on first name and give space and then the last name. So I go under, I'm going to put the address under the city and the country. Alright, so now there I'm going to be putting the first name and the last name. First name, remember to always give space, and the last name. So now I'm done with this, so I'm going to click on next. Write your letter. So I will not be writing anything because I already have my letter here. This is it here. So I'm just going to click on preview your letters. Good. Now this is it. Preview. Now remember I had this in my database. So this is for Gabriel White. Number 4, this is the street, the city, and the country. And if you watch here, this is dear Gabriel White. So now let me go to my database so you understand. Now this is it here, Gabriel White. This is the address, this is the city and the country. So you need your database ready before you can actually get your mail merge done. So I'll click on next, complete the message. Alright, so now mail merge is ready to produce your letter. So you can actually print it if you want to print, or you can edit this for as individual letters. Alright, so that's all you need to know about the mail merge. Alright, to insert a chart, we are just going to come to the insert tab here and click on the insert. Then you come straight to the charts under the illustrations group. You click on the chart. Now look at all the charts we have in Microsoft Word. So we have all of these. We are just going to be using the pie charts. So just click on the pie chart. Good. Now these are all we have under the pie chart. We have the 3D pie, we have the pie of pie, and bar of pie and the rest. All right, so we're just going to be using the 3D pie for instance. Just click on the 3D pie and then hit OK. Now it's going to bring it out. Good. Now this is it here. So when it brings it out, it actually brings a chart looking like an Excel table where you input where the data are inside there. That is, we have the first quarter and the sales there. So all right, so now what is the work for of this table that's here? Now this is the first quarter, that is to say this is it here, the first quarter. So we can actually change the name of this first quarter. Let's say for instance now we want to be having YouTube. If we click enter, now this is it. When you come here, see it has changed this to YouTube. So you can actually rename each of this. So we can do the same thing for the rest of that if you want to. Now come over to this part. This is the percentage, or should I say the sales. Now we are going to be changing this now to 6. Let it be 6.2. Then we hit our enter. Now this is it. It actually reduced this. So if we also want to make this, for instance, 11.2, hit enter, and this is it. So this is how we can actually format our charts in Microsoft Word. All right, so when you're done, you just click on this and then it goes out. Now, there's also something we need to know. Now, when we bring in our charts, we are going to be having two additional tabs, which is the chart design and the format tab. Now, what is the work of it? Now, coming to the format first. Now, the format is actually for you to work on your chart, which is like giving it a color, quick styles, giving it a feel, and all of that. It's just all about formatting your chart. Then, how about the chart design? This is where we can now input our chart styles. Also, where we can also add our data, add more data, or edit our data in our chart. All right, so now for instance, these are the chart styles we have in Microsoft Word. So we can actually select any of these. So let's say I'm going to be selecting this. I just click on it and this is it right here. So now how about we now want to edit our data? Just come here to select data and then something pops up. All right, so now this is it, pops up. So we're just going to be closing this one. Good, and this pops up. So you can actually add more. How do we add more? Just scroll down a little. Now here we are now going to be having Twitter. Good. Then here can repeat the data for the Twitter as 33. Then I hit enter. Now this is it. We just created for Twitter and this is the data for it. So this is how we can actually format our charts or work with our chart design and also to edit some data in the chart using Microsoft Word. We are going to be seeing the 10 tips and features you should know. Alright guys, so let's roll in. First, we are going to be starting with the dummy text, which is the random text and that of the Lorem Ipsum. First, the random text, I'm going to put him in my equal to first, then I put in rand, open my bracket. I'll be putting the number of paragraph and the number of lines, which is 4 and 5. Then I close my bracket, then I hit the enter key. This is it. Now I just had my random text. Now how about the Lorem Ipsum? I'm just going to delete this. Then I put in my equal to first, then I type in lorem, open my bracket, put in the number of paragraph and the number of lines, close it, and then I hit the enter, and this is it. I just had dummy text. All right, so this is how we can actually go about with our dummy text. Now, next is the hidden text. How can we actually hide our text and also to unhide our text in Microsoft Word? First, I'm just going to highlight. I'll be highlighting this part. This is the part I wish to hide. Then I just click on Ctrl D or Command D if you are using Mac. Good. Now, when this pops up, you just come straight to hidden here and check this. After checking it, you just click OK, and I just hid this. Now, how can I actually unhide it to see what I hid? I can just simply come to this paragraph icon here and click. Now, this is it. This was what I hid. It is actually having dotted lines under it. Next, we have the selection. Now, how can we actually select? No, we already know that we should just click and drag the switch to select, but there are so many other ways we can actually select. You just click on your Alt key and then you can highlight this. Now while selecting this, you can actually select this looking like a square or in a box kind of selection. Now how can I actually use this, or when can I use this? Let's say I'm having some paragraphs here by the edge of this, then I just want to delete them. I can simply just highlight that part using my alt key, highlight that part there, and then I can delete. Now that is how you can actually use the alt selection. Next, we have the spike. Now what can we actually do with the spike? With the spike, you can cut some number of text and actually paste it. You can cut so many text and paste it somewhere else. Now for instance, I'll be having this. I'm just going to be highlighting this, and then if I want to cut this, I can just simply click on Ctrl F3. I did the cutting. So now let me do the same thing here. I'll be highlighting this, Ctrl F3. Also, I'll highlight this, Ctrl F3. Then I can actually come down here and paste it, which is Ctrl Shift plus F3. Now this was all I cut. So this is how you can go about with your spike. Let us now see how we can actually customize our tab and that of our ribbon. Okay, you just come to your ribbon here, you right click on it, you see the customize the ribbon, you click on this. Now when you click on this, this actually pops up. Then we are just going to be creating a new tab first by coming here, click on this new tab, and you get this. Now we want to rename this. You come down to the rename and you can rename it as whatever you want to rename it. Then when you're done, you just click OK. Now we just renamed it. If you want to also have a new group under this, you can just come here, click on the new group, and then you can decide to also rename it as whatever you want to rename it. Then you click your OK. Now this is our new tab. How about we now want to insert a ribbon in our tab? Because definitely if you're having a tab, there is going to be a ribbon. Now we are just going to come right up here and we'll click on all commands. I want to put in some tools we can actually use. Then okay, I'll just be adding this. I'll just click on it first, then come straight to add. Good. Now I just added this and it's under this tab. Then when I'm done, I just click on OK. Good. Now this is it right here. I'll just click on my new tab and this is it. So this is how you can actually create a new tab and a ribbon. Let's say we now want to remove it. You can just simply come back to your ribbon, right click, and then come to customize the ribbon. Then you just come right down here and click on reset. We want to now reset it back to the way it was. Reset all customizations. Then you click yes. Come down here and click OK. Now we just reset this. Now next, let's now see how we can actually customize our status bar by coming down here. Now we want to add some number of things here. Right click on this. Then let's say we now want to add some character counts. You just check this and this is it. The characters have been added. You want to add any other thing, you can just click on it and you can add them. All right, so that is how we can actually add or customize our status bar. Up next, we have what we call the autocorrect. Now, where can we find the autocorrect? You just come straight to your file, you come to options. Now, you come to proofing, autocorrect options. Now, this is it. Now, this actually allows you to automatically correct, which is from here, autocorrect. Now, for instance, we want to capitalize the first letter of our sentences. Since this is checked, whenever we are typing something, if we're beginning with a sentence, it's actually going to capitalize it first. But when we uncheck this, for instance, and we start typing, it's not going to work that way. So we are just going to leave this checked, and also we can actually correct most of this. But now we want to see more on the actions. Now, when it comes to the actions, this actually helps you. Now, for instance, with the measurements, we want to be working with the measurements, which is going to actually help us in converting. Now, this is checked already, so I'll just click on OK. Now, let me show you how we can actually use something like that. Now, I'm just going to be having £500. Now, I want to now convert this. I'll just highlight it, right click on it, come to additional actions here, and you see this £500, we can actually convert it to kilogram. So now this is one of the actions in autocorrect. Up next, we are going to be seeing how we can actually use the advanced find. We all know that to get the find, you just do Ctrl F and this pops out. But you need to come to this little search, close to this little search, this arrow facing down. You just click on this and then you see the advanced find. Now, when you check on the advanced find, you can actually find whatever you want to find here, and then you can replace it. But there is something more to that. You can just come and click on the more here, and this pops out. Then you come straight to your format down here. Now you can actually find by fonts, by paragraph, by tabs, by language, frame, style, or highlight. You can use any of these formats to find whatever you search for. We can actually come also to the special here. From here, we can find any digit, any character, any letter, or whatever. So let's say we'll be using any digit. Now we're having this here. This is our digit here. So we are just going to be having this. Let's say we're having more than this digits. Good. Then when we find this, you just come right straight to replace. We've just put in this. We'll be replacing it with what? Let's say we'll be replacing it with something else. Let's say 345. Then when you've done this, you just click on replace all. Good. Now let's see if it actually worked. Now I'm scrolling up there. Now this is it. It actually worked here. This is the 3, 4, and 5. So this is how we can actually use the advanced find in Microsoft Word. Next, we are going to see how we can actually take a screenshot with Microsoft Word. Some of us might actually know we can actually take a screenshot, but we do not know where to find it. Now, where can we find it? You just come right straight to your insert here, and then you'll be seeing your screenshots here. Now, when I click on this, then I can take a screenshot of my desktop. With this, then I can just highlight the part I want. Let's say I want this part. I can just highlight this, and it will just bring it right here. So this is how you can actually take a screenshot in Microsoft Word. Next, let's see how we can actually read aloud. You just come right straight to your review. If you want to actually read every single thing you're having in your Word document, then you come straight to read aloud here and click. Wherever your cursor is, that is where it's actually going to start the reading from. So if you want to stop this, you just come and click on your document. Click anywhere in your document, it's actually going to stop it. So this is how you can actually read aloud in Microsoft Word. Next, we are going to see the quick parts. Now, how can we use the quick parts, or how can we fully understand the quick parts? Now, first, you just need to highlight some text in your document. Now, after highlighting it, you just come right straight to your inserts. You see the quick parts right here. Now, with these quick parts, we can actually save this particular text we highlighted. Then, how can we do that? You come straight to your auto text, you click on it. You see, save selection to auto text gallery. You click on it, and this pops up. Then I'm just going to name it as whatever I wish to name it. Then I click on OK. Now I just saved what I just highlighted in my document. So next time, if I wish to use it, I could just come straight to my quick part, auto text, then I see it right here. All I have to do is to just click on it and it will be added. So this is how we can actually use the quick parts. Next, we are going to be seeing something else. Now, for instance, we want to actually make all of this in uppercase, which is capital letters. You can come right straight to this arrow facing down here. You just click on this and we can change it to uppercase. Now this is it. You can do the same thing for all of this. So this does not really need us to, maybe after typing so many text, we just have to delete them and keep turning on the caps lock and turning back off just for us to get the case we want. So instead of that, you can simply just highlight all of this, go right up there, you click on it, and then you can select whichever case you want to use. We are going to be discussing about some basic shortcuts in Microsoft Word you should know. All right, so today we are just going to be discussing about those basic shortcuts that can actually make your work faster in Microsoft Word. All right, then, so let's begin. Okay, so now the first we're going to be discussing about is to highlight. Now, how can we highlight this? The shortcut to highlight is Control A. Just click Control A on your keyboard together and it highlights everything. So this is how you can highlight. Let's say we now want to copy. After highlighting everything, you can just simply click on Control C to copy. Control C is to copy. Then we now come down here, all right? And we are going to be pasting it here. Now to paste it is Control V. This is it. So you highlight, you copy, and you paste. To highlight, like I said, Control A. To copy, Control C. And to paste, Control V. Now, how about we want to cut? Now, for instance, I want to remove this from here. I want to put it somewhere here or in between this paragraph. Then to cut, Control X is to cut. Then I come to where I want to insert it and paste it, which is Control V to paste. Now this is it. So Control V is to paste. All right, so that's just it. So now let's say, for instance, we now want to save. How can we save? Simple, Control S to save. When you click on Control S, this pops up. You just give the file a name, you choose the location, and then you save. This is how you can save. All right, how about we want to undo and also redo some changes we made? Now, to undo is simple, Control Z. Now, I want to undo the changes I made here. Control Z, I just keep, so now just keep tapping on Control Z, and then it brings me back to this. So now, how can I redo? Some of us might actually be thinking how we can actually redo the shortcut. So now I would like to give that to you guys as an assignment. So I want all of you watching this video to tell me in the comment section how, or the shortcut to redo. So that is going to be an assignment for you all. So I'll be waiting for you guys in the comment section. Feel free to tell me, or even if you are wrong or you are correct, feel free, just put it down there. I'm going to correct you if you are wrong. So that is just it. So now, how about we want to print? To print, the shortcut to print is Control P to print. Now, when you click on Control P, this pops up. Now, this is it, print. Then from this, you can go ahead with your printing. So all what we've discussed today are just the basic key shortcuts we should know in Microsoft Word.